Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my second video for the drugstore series that I started. In my first video I showed you my favorite 5 primers that I use it all the time, and I also explained to you why I like it. If you did miss the video, I will link it down below, so don't forget to check it out. And in this video I am going to show you my top 5 favorite foundations from the drugstore and why I like it. Actually I have 6, but 2 counts as one because one is a matte foundation and one's dewy, so I will count it as one foundation. So I will be showing you light, medium and full in terms of coverage. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get on to the video. So the first foundation that I absolutely love is this L'Oreal True Match Lumi Cushion Foundation. So which comes in a container like that, and if you open it up, it comes with a cushion, but I do not have the cushion. I threw the cushion away because it's a weird kind of cushion. Even if you wash it, it doesn't look clean, so I thought I will just throw it out so I don't have that cushion anymore. But yeah, it comes in a container like that, and here you have this covering here, and it comes with a cushion, and it has foundation here, and you just dab your brush or your sponge here and just use it onto your face. This foundation has a very light coverage, and just dab it onto your skin with a brush or a beauty sponge. I like using it with a beauty sponge, as most of the foundations I do, but as I mentioned to you in my earlier video, I am liking using brush for my foundation first and going in with this sponge. But this foundation I strictly use sponge, even though it's light coverage, even though the beauty sponge eats your coverage. I still like to use this foundation with a sponge. This foundation has a very light coverage. You can build it up if you want medium kind of coverage, but yes, but it's very good if you just want to even out your skin tone. So yeah, it is very nice, and also gives you a luminous finish, and it's very useful if you have very dry skin. I don't think it's a good idea to wear this foundation if you have oily skin, because as it says, it's a lumi, very glowy kind of foundation. So yeah, but I absolutely love it if I don't need a lot of coverage on my skin. I like this kind of foundation to use it on a daily basis, where I don't need a lot of coverage. So yeah, this foundation, I really like it. Maybelline has a cushion foundation like that too, but I have not tried it yet. So yeah, for me, L'Oreal True Match Lumi Cushion Foundation is one of the best foundation. So moving on, like the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Cushion Foundation, I have another foundation which is L'Oreal True Match Lumi Foundation. Don't get confused because both are Lumi. This is True Match Lumi and the other one is True Match Lumi Cushion Foundation. So yeah, I like this one as well, and it gives a little bit more coverage than the other one, than the cushion one, and I absolutely love this foundation. I have very dry skin, so I look foundation that gives me a very dewy and very nice kind of finish. Even if it doesn't give me dewy, I don't like foundation that clings on to my dry patches and makes my skin very dull and dry. So I'm always looking for foundation that gives me a very healthy looking skin. So if you have very dry skin, this one is very nice too, and it gives a little bit of more coverage than the cushion foundation. So yeah, this one is definitely another foundation that I love and adore. Okay, so the next foundation, by no surprise, that I love and adore is Maybelline Fit Me Foundation, and I love both the matte and poreless and the regular one. So this foundation, I'm counting it as one because this comes in 2 different types, but it's technically one foundation. So yeah, when I started buying makeup myself, when I went to the store and started picking up makeup myself, this was the second foundation that I got. Maybelline Fit Me Foundation was the foundation that I bought and loved. Before this, I bought another foundation which was a Revlon Photo Ready's, which is called Revlon Photo Ready or something foundation, which I don't have it anymore. That foundation was so terrible. I still remember the first day I wore a foundation, which was the Revlon one, and oh my god, I looked disaster that day. I can't tell you how bad I looked that day. The day I was fine. I thought I looked very nice, but when I think about that day, it gives me nightmares because oh my god, that Revlon foundation came with glitter on it, and I was a shiny disco ball all day, moving around in front of people, and yeah, it was a disaster. But yeah, leaving all that aside, Maybelline Fit Me was the first ever foundation that I actually liked, that I picked myself up. So at that time I didn't know anything much about makeup, but I still thought I would give this foundation a try. And oh my god, after that I instantly fell in love with this foundation. This foundation is like so good. And it says matte and poreless, but it does not make your skin flat matte. It gives you a very healthy looking skin even if you're dry. But nevertheless, if you're extremely dry, Maybelline Fit Me Hydrate and Smooth is a very good option to go with. The Hydrate and Smooth gives you a very dewy skin. So I like mixing this both if I'm a little bit more dry. I like mixing both of this together and using it. But if I have normal everyday dry skin, this works absolutely great for me. So yeah, this is the best foundation for me because I just love it so much. And this foundation is so cheap. Oh, I forgot to mention the price of previous foundations. So the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Cushion foundation is around $19 or around $20, and the Lumi is kind of same, like $19 or $20. Maybelline foundation is around $10.99, but I always buy it when it's on sale, and sale is around like $6.99 or $7.99. So yeah, it's very cheap and a very good foundation. This foundation gives you a medium buildable coverage. If you like light coverage, just put a thin layer of it, but if you want a medium coverage, you can layer it and it does not look cakey. So yeah, if you're starting up your makeup game, this foundation is very good. So moving on to NYX foundations, I have two full coverage foundations, and I usually don't go for full coverage look, but these two foundations, they are so good. So the first one is Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. So this foundation is a full coverage foundation. It's a little bit more dry than other foundations that I showed you. If you have oily skin, this is the foundation to go for. You'll absolutely love this foundation, but I wear it sometimes. I do have dry skin, but I wear it sometimes. I use a very hydrating moisturizer, and also I use a very hydrating primer underneath this foundation, and I mix a little bit of facial oil with this foundation and I'm good to go. Sometimes I do not use oil whatsoever, but if I'm a little bit more dry, especially in the winter time, I have to use oil with this foundation because I'm very dry. But during the summertime, if I hydrate my skin and if I use a very hydrating primer underneath, this foundation works very good, and it's very thick and full coverage. It does not move and will give you a very full coverage look. I only wear this foundation where I need more coverage, and I know I'm going to take pictures and stuff like that. So yeah, this foundation is really good. So yeah, definitely worth it. And this foundation retails for $12.99, pretty sure. Yeah. So yeah, if you like a very full coverage foundation from the drugstore, definitely Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation is to go for. Okay, so moving on to the next foundation. I think you can clearly tell by my smile how much I love this foundation. This is the new Maybelline Super Stay 24-hour foundation, which looks like that. I used it in my recent first impression video. My recent find, but Oh my god, I absolutely love this foundation. This is the foundation I'm wearing it right now. Oh my god. This foundation is a full coverage foundation. Like I said to you before, I normally don't go for full coverage foundation because I think it makes my skin look cakey and I do not like that look whatsoever. But oh my god, since I got this foundation, I am in love with it. In love with it. It is so good. It gives you full coverage. It says matte finish. It says full coverage foundation up to 12-hour wear, seamless matte finish, breathable and comfortable, fade and transfer resistant, oil free, don't clog pores, dermatologist tested. Yeah, so it says it gives you matte finish, which I agree, it gives you matte finish, but it's not like flat matte. I've told you so many times in the video that I do not like very flat matte kind of look. This does give you a matte look, but not like a very dry and dull kind of matte. You know what? I cannot praise this foundation enough. This foundation is so good. You have to check it out. It retails for around $15 and it's drugstore foundation, gives you full coverage look, do not move, does not buzz, gives you a very nice decent look, and it's also good for oily skin girls. So yeah, this foundation is so good. Until now I used to love the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. That was my holy grail, and this foundation has quickly become my holy grail. So this is the best foundation I have in my collection. I do have other high-end foundations too, but this one is definitely on the top. So I absolutely love this foundation and it's definitely worth it. So yeah, if you want a very nice looking full coverage foundation without hurting your bank account, this is the foundation to go for. Oh, I love this foundation. I'm so happy I got it. So guys, that is all for today's video, and those were the 5 foundations that I absolutely love and adore. Those are the 5 foundations. I use it all the time and I do repurchase all the time, and I will be repurchasing in the future as well. I hope it was useful to you all. I do have a very dry skin, so some of the foundations that I showed you might not work for your skin type, but I did show you 2 of the foundations that will be very good for oily skin girls too. So yeah, let me know how you are liking this drugstore series. So I think for the next video I will be showing you my top 5 powders from the drugstore, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also don't forget to press the bell button so that you'll be notified every time I post videos. I do work very hard to bring new videos for you guys all the time, so please do support and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That will really mean a lot to me. Saying that, I will see you guys next time in my another exciting video. Until then, you guys stay beautiful. Bye guys.